jump a little. The introduction.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
We're here.
We're here. What's happening? Blue, you muted it too soon. I'm getting better. You're getting better. Or, you know what you can do here? We do this on the fly. Hi, everyone. Hold on. All right. You could also do this, Blue. You could just gradually fade that before you mute it. Next time. It was better than last week. Welcome.
This is going to be great.
It's a high dollar operation you're seeing here.
I love everything in here. Everyone.
We try to have a good time with it. It's been a learning process since the very beginning.
It's the best.
And welcome in.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank
I appreciate it.
Cheryl Lynn Tomblin.
Yeah.
The middle name thing threw me because I don't know you with that. But when you sent the information, I was like, oh, so that's the official name.
Yes, it's to not confuse me with the orange farmer, Cheryl Tomblin.
Oh.
You know, because
I was
that
super
happens.
confused. You know, now that clears it up totally for me.
There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And have you ever met the orange farmer, Cheryl Lynn Tomblin?
Funnily enough, yes, I have.
Really?
Not in person, just on Facebook. Because she's like, "You're Cheryl Tomblin." I'm like, "I am too," but her middle name is a little different.
Oh.
So I forgot what it was, but it's like Cheryl Lynn Tomblin.
Oh. Well, that's I like it. So, anyways, it threw me off guard a little, but I'm glad to see it. So, thank you for being here. And you and I met at a gig when I made you laugh about when I was talking about wearing fake eyelashes.
Yes.
And it was when we played with Bobby. So that was funny. But I had no idea that you were this amazing songwriter superstar. I just thought you were a random person having dinner with your daughter in the restaurant. And little do I know that you're this immensely talented human.
Aww.
I had no clue. And then when I went over to Berwyn and hung out at the whatever the it was Friendly Tap something, and I realized she's like the mayor here. Everyone knows her, which was awesome. I was like, oh, you're not just talented, like you're the belle of the ball over here.
Oh man, thanks.
So
There's a couple of us. I can't hold that title.
Well, well, yeah, it's a really fun scene that has been, I don't know, cultivated there, I think.
Absolutely.
I know that like almost 15 years ago, I used to go to Forest Park, 16 years ago actually, and play an open mic in Forest Park.
Pioneer.
So it was.
Oh yeah.
See, look at you. That's when on the show I talk often about having my last beer, and it was at the Pioneer Tap, and it's if I knew it was my last one, I would have finished. It was the joke that made the drunks laugh at AA.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was at the open mic at Pioneer Tap. That was my friend lived on like in Hyde Park, and we'd meet. I lived out here, and we'd meet there on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun. There was a great scene of people there.
There was. I haven't been there in such a long time, but met a lot of lasting friendships, musically and otherwise, that we still keep in touch, or at least like see what our projects are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us are in like 4 or 5 different ones on top of our regular lives that we have going on. But it was like a formative place for many musical spurrings.
Sure. Like I know that Ryan Gack or
Yep. Nasty Snacks.
Yes, and Katie Chios.
Chios?
Yes.
Yes.
and her brother John.
John Chios,
Yes,
yes, on
both of them.
sax, yes.
They like you see him play guitar, and then he starts playing saxophone. You're like, oh, saxophone is your main instrument. Yeah, incredible. Oh, the guitar is just a transient. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
So yeah, he amazingly talented, nice people, all of them.
absolutely.
I know them from a long time ago. So super nice. And now, when you started playing, so let's see. Did you start in high school? Did you always write songs? Were you drawn to it? Or was it somebody I thought wrote all along that was here not too long ago, and they started like 5 years ago, and I was like, really? Like that one threw me for a loop.
I mean, music has always been kind of part of my world. My mom was in the church choir. She's no longer living, and she would take me with her to all her like choir practices, and I would laugh at her because she was one of the people with the least amount of rhythm. So whenever they had like the clapping part, she was always slightly off. And
As her daughter, you noticed.
I noticed and heckle her slightly.
Oh, you did. You were a
Yes,
heckler.
yes.
Okay, sure.
But it was great, and that's kind of what introduced me into music, was going with her to choir practice. I tried out for the choir as well. But when I was in high school, no, sorry, when I was in grade school, they had like the big orchestra band companies come to the school and it's like, try out an instrument. And so I did that. And my sisters.
Wait, what instrument did you start with?
Well, here's what happened. I was going to do the clarinet because my sisters both played the clarinet, so there was one at home, and I was trying to be, very economical. I was like, we have a clarinet at home. I'll just do that.
Right.
But my mom was like, nope, because apparently they didn't do the greatest of job with that clarinet, and so she was like, pick something else. And so I they had the violins over there, and I was like, oh, this looks nice. And I'd been to concerts before and heard people play, and so I was like, all right, I'll try it. So that became my instrument, and I started that when I was 10, and I play it up till now. So like
Right.
33 years now of playing, but stayed with that. We had a piano at home, like a upright keyboard, and I would dabble on that. And I took a few lessons when I was a kid from one of our local piano teachers, and I took like enough to know the basics, and then I just figured out the rest. I was really good at figuring things out.
Mm-hmm.
I learned later on, like if I had the main foundation of music, I could figure it out and plug it into other instruments.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did that with piano, and then I had a high school boyfriend who played guitar. And because of that, I was like, oh, I want to play guitar too. So for my 17th birthday, my mom got me a guitar, and that's what
Moms do stuff like that.
She's great. She was great like that. And so I remember Christmas Day spending like 3 or 4 hours upstairs with like the book that she got with it. I think she got my guitar from Guitar Center,
Right.
And I came back down. I was like, I learned some stuff, and I was like, she's like, you were just up there. So that's kind of what got me into that, and I was also listening to a lot of grunge music. You might hear my daughter out
That's
there.
okay. That Blue does that all the time. He does. See? It's no big deal. We encourage the audience to speak up. So
Excellent.
no worries.
But yeah, we my sisters and I, we listened to everything. So it was from grunge music, which my brother and I were big fans of.
Now, how many siblings? You said sister,
3.
brother. So just the 3.
Yeah, there was 4 of us total. My eldest sister, she's no longer living, and so but there were 4 of us, and we each kind of had dabbled in different genres of music.
What's your sibling order?
I'm the youngest.
Youngest.
Yes.
Right on.
Yes,
See, I'm the youngest of 4 as well.
Yeah, the baby. And from grunge to industrial to classical music to R&B to hip hop, all of that kind of threw into the pot of what I learned from when it comes to music. I think that like my my grunge and probably blues and kind of soul kind of stayed
And
with me the
grunge
most.
was happening in your formative years, if my
Yeah.
math is right.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yes.
that's
Yes. A lot of Alice in Chains,
sure.
a lot of Soundgarden, a lot of
Well, now,
all
what
that.
was the first record you ever bought for your or CD, record, cassette, whatever it was? But the first thing you ever bought for yourself, your own money?
Honestly, I think it was like a Kama Sutra CD. I'm just saying. It was a soundtrack. It's a beautiful soundtrack. It's great.
Okay.
But it was from Coconuts, I think.
Coconuts Records.
All the other things I acquired from my sister because she worked at Musicland. Anyone remember Musicland?
Sure.
But she worked there, and I think at Camelot she worked there too. But all the other things I kind of like borrowed from them.
Well, that's the advantage of being the youngest.
Yeah.
I had a similar, and I've spoken about it many times. Here's my brother worked for Flipside Records, which was a suburban chain, and he had a great record collection, and I would go thumb through those when he wasn't around and play things on his record player when he wasn't home.
Yep.
Which he was never terribly pleased about, but he didn't give me too hard of a time, really.
Right. As long as you don't scratch anything,
Right.
as long as you put it back relatively in the spot where you got it from,
Right.
then all was good.
He would pretend like he didn't notice that I did it, but I know I'm sure he did. So which is fine. But and all of that stuff led me to if I like listening to this, well, then as soon as the next step is, well, how do they make those noises, or how is that, what does that translate to, or how do you play whatever it is I'm listening to, and
Right.
and then begins that journey, and then not just playing it, but how do they
Create it.
now that's the question. That's another question, because for me it was one step from, we weren't playing very long with my friends before I was like, we have to write songs. So was writing something that started right away for you, or is it later?
Kind of, because I was writing like short stories and poetry. I would make up these like horror stories back when I was a kid, and
So you like being scared as well?
yes,
My
still.
wife loves that, and I'm like, okay.
Just had to- yeah.
I will tolerate it from. Well, I took her to what did we go to? It, whenever that came out, for it was like our, and I sat through that. I am not a fan.
I did not get out of my bed for like almost a full day, except for to go to the bathroom, and then I had to like check under the bed twice because I was sure that
Right.
he was going to get me.
I'm not a fan. I don't get it. I suppose I've tried to understand. I just don't. But now, thankfully, she has our son she'll make him sit through that stuff, and he's a nice young man, and
Good.
he will honor his mother. And I don't know whether he particularly likes it. I don't think he hates it, but see, he's a fan. Is he a fan? He's not too different than me. He'll put it up. We put it up with it because we like you.
Bev has a healthy appreciation for horror.
Yeah?
I spent, when I was in school, most of the time with Walking Dead in the background.
Yeah.
Good focusing.
Oh, that was huge here. When that was a big thing going on here when
Yeah.
that was on.
So, and this is actually like 9 times around, like watching it from the beginning, 9 seasons all the way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she's fine with horror.
Right on.
Hence fearlessness with her.
Yeah, like I said, a very shy young lady. No, delightful actually. So that's interesting. So as far as your first instrument, you covered your first instrument. So you covered the question before I even asked, because one of the questions is, what's your first instrument, which you already talked about, and then you started writing. When did you start actually writing? Can you think of the
Yes.
title of the first song you ever wrote?
I want to say it was A Live Long Dream, I think was one of them. I was listening to a lot of Soundgarden. I was obsessed with Chris Cornell's voice. And somewhere around there, I think his song Sun Shower was like stuck in my head. And so that was kind of part of the beginning of me writing my own music. Maybe some time before that, I think I might have had some poems that I had written, and I switched them into songs, just like putting chords and things. but I do know that like Soundgarden, Chris Cornell specifically, like his vocals, the way that he phrased
Mm-hmm.
words, along with like Alice in Chains and Jerry Cantrell, like their harmonies, they just did something to
Mm-hmm.
me. So most of my early writing, but it
That
was started around like 17, 18. Um, and that was one of the first songs. And then I still have one.
I was going to ask, do
Yeah,
you play any of them still?
yeah, there's still one, and I'm so bad. Like sometimes I'm put on the spot and I can't remember.
That's
There's
okay.
a,
But
um,
I still to this day play the third song we ever wrote as kids, and it's a song that I call "Dirty Old Car," and it's about my first car, and it's this ridiculous song that we drove somebody's mother crazy playing in their basement over and over and over again for a month and a half straight.
mhm.
And I still play it, and it gets quite a reaction every time I play it to this day. So I can relate to if you wrote something and it just works. Nothing wrong with playing it,
Yeah.
even though it's for me almost 40 years later. But it's pretty crazy. I can't believe that much time has passed for me. So do you have a song you want to do for the folks?
I think I've decided on it.
Yeah,
I've been kind of
that
like,
happens to me too. Sometimes I can't decide until it's actually time to actually start playing.
right, because you have to feel like, where's my spirit at this time?
Right.
What do I want to put out there?
Well, you described it much better than me. I just refer to it as indecision, generally speaking. But you're like, "Where's my spirit?" Okay, that sounds much nicer.
This is my creative writing major.
Sure.
Through. Yeah.
Now, if go ahead.
Yeah. Get some water first.
Is this going to be? You have multiple projects that I asked about pipes,
Yep.
and then I saw that your solo record. And I was listening to things today while I was getting things ready,
Hmm.
and I don't remember which one it was selecting off of. I think it was. Oh shoot!
There's Mockingbird.
Yes,
Yes.
that was it.
Uh-huh.
That's what I was listening to.
Yep.
And there was the opening track is you and the guitar and a saxophone, right?
Yes.
That's okay. So that was I enjoyed that, and then sometimes I get busy and I don't realize how many songs have gone by or whatever. But I just kind of had it on, sort of absorbing. Really enjoyed it. So,
Excellent. Thank
but I was
you.
going to say, is it from pipes or something that's just not for? Because you said that's a collection of friends that's consistent.
Yes, yes. It's myself, Dave Walker, Michael Craniac, and Ryan Shepard. And then occasionally Joe Fournier will jump in, and he'll jump in on baritone sax when he's free. But generally it's like us four. But Ryan and Dave and I kind of formed it as a trio at the beginning, and we didn't have a bass player for the longest time, like a consistent bass player. And we pretty much met at the open mics too. So we met at Fitzgerald's open mic, Molly Malone's when Molly Malone's was still there.
I
If you
played
ever-
at that place 1,000
Yeah.
years ago. That's funny.
So those were one of our old haunts that
Right.
we all met at. And
I can't believe how many times somebody will say that, and I go, oh, I played there.
yes, there are a lot of them.
Wait, I played there, right? Which happens to me. Or I was someplace recently, and I was like, it's possible I played here.
Yes.
Which that happens to me too, because there was time in my life where I was like, this really looks familiar. I don't remember maybe playing here, but I know I was here, and I'm pretty sure I played here. So I couldn't tell you when. I couldn't tell you what the circumstances were, but that's what happens when you start playing in the 80s.
I know. Well, mine would be in the 2000s-ish or so when I finally start
Right.
making the circuit there.
Did you know that Bob and I were in the same Battle of the Bands in 1987?
I think he mentioned this.
Did he?
Yes. I don't know if he told me who won.
Neither one of us. He did the most rock and roll thing that you could possibly do, which was he got himself shut off by
Yes, because he was swearing.
Yes. Mm-hmm. It's totally out of
To
character
this
for him,
day.
right? Had the deans come and unplugged him at the high school Battle
Yeah.
of the Bands, which, like I said, is the most rock and roll thing you could probably do.
True.
It's
Wouldn't
pretty
have
good,
it any other way.
right? Yeah. What song are you gonna do?
Oh man.
Now it's time to decide. I gave
Now
you
it's
all
time
the
to
extra
decide. I had all that extra, those minutes. I think I'm going to go with this first track from Mockingbird, because I think it kind of sums up a lot of my influences but when I started making music my own. So yeah, we'll do that. Okay, yeah.
Whenever you're ready.
Oh, okay.
So you can, what's it called again?
This is called Choir Boy Sins.
All right, okay, all right.
In parentheses, as good as dead.
So real simple.
I think that was a big thing back in the day too. I don't see it too much anymore, where you have the parentheses. You do it.
The extra title or the word, the title that has nothing to do with any of the words. Do you do that?
I don't have too many of those.
No.
Yeah, they usually have at least a little bit in there.
Sure.
Yeah, but I'm a big fan of the parentheses.
All right.
Good.
Whenever you're ready. Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I will go. Long road ahead, his cigarette burning red, eyes gleaming something bad. He's going down, one hit he's gone, next one might be his last, another one better make it fast. Make me forget the church boy is gone. Oh, hear that choir sing that funeral march. He sinned again. The church boy is gone. Oh, hear that choir sing that funeral march. He sinned again. He's good as dead. He's good as dead. Another drink, this they'll make your soul shrink. Eyes wide, not taking a blink. Kneel to me now and look up above. Genuflect those deeds away. Say those words for another day. He saw it. Oh, the church boy is gone. Oh, hear that choir sing that funeral march. He sinned again. The church boy is gone. Oh, hear that choir sing that funeral march. He sinned again. He's good as dead. He's good as dead. Church boy is gone. Oh, hear that choir sing that funeral march. He sinned again. The church boy is gone. Oh, hear that choir sing that funeral Thank you.
It was awesome. Now, do you remember writing that one? Like, do you remember specifically where you were, or is it just kind of a time?
For some reason, I don't think I wrote it exactly then, but I think I was living in Garfield Park in this old school that they converted into lofts. It was an artist loft. We call it the Switching Station Lofts. And I missed that place. It was great. But I feel like sometime around then is when I wrote it. So this would have been 2012, 2011, somewhere in there.
So you got some time behind it, but it's not super old.
Yeah, I kept it.
I got some that are pretty old, which is frightening. Like the one earlier that I described. I had things that I hadn't put out for 20 plus years, and I finally got around to it. So that's
okay.
And there's a few more that are still in the closet that I can drag out when necessary. So that was really great.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Now, we have a feature that we do every week that I call the album side of the week, and it started very organically where in listening to some of Dawn's records. When I first got a record player last year, I discovered that Led Zeppelin was good. I don't know if you knew that.
Yes.
They're kind of good.
Quite.
Right, but Led Zeppelin 2 was a great record, and knowing all the songs independently from hearing them a zillion times over, but listening to it as an album, put it in a vinyl record going around. The first side made my brain go, oh, this in the collection, in the context, in all of it. And that came on the show and went, do you know that this was good? So every week I started picking a record, and I went to the record store this week, and there's an announcement coming about Black Dog Vinyl. Got this at the fantastic Black Dog Vinyl, and we're going to partner with them very shortly on a project coming up, and I'm very excited about. Yeah. But this was what I picked out this week, and I remember the early days of Elvis. My brother, as I mentioned, would get these records, and I remember listening to that whole group of dudes. Nick Lowe, Elvis. There's a whole bunch of them. There's a Rockpile record over there too, and it seemed familiar but new, and it had this great vibe. But this record has one of my favorite songs, "Every Day I Write the Book," which is and the bass line. Being a bass player is my primary instrument, and it's just brilliant. So when I saw this, I'm like, and it's cheap too, because I try to stay away from the really expensive stuff over there, or anything if it's more than $15, I'm really not terribly interested.
Right.
And I'm looking for the cheap things that are gold that nobody knows. So this was, I think, $13 or something, which is crazy. But I'm looking forward to it. So Punch the Clock, Elvis Costello, side one. Let Them Talk. Every Day I Write the Book. The Greatest Thing. The Element Within Her. Love Went Bad, and Shipbuilding, which
I love that song. I thought this was on this album. I want to cover that one at some point on the piano.
So it's a great record. So it's a great time in his career, and then I looked at the picture, and it's he's a little boy there practically.
He's a youngin.
Right.
But Shipbuilding isn't him. Like as far as some other guy wrote it, and then
somebody else wrote Shipbuilding. Yeah, but the original recording that Elvis Costello did is just phenomenal.
I agree.
It's one of my favorite albums. I have that side.
Yes, I agree.
The Voice of Blue checking in. Big Elvis fan.
Yeah.
Doesn't say on here who the songwriter is. Well.
Mommy, I love you.
I love you, Buff.
Are you wearing headphones?
Right. That's that whole group of dudes were all working together, and they were just taking from each other or using each other's songs, and Nick Lowe and right, it's "Girls Talk" was on Nick Lowe's record, and that's an Elvis song. So, oh yeah, right. So like all those guys, it was cool. I'm not super well versed, but I know that whole group of people were a community of people in a time writing songs together, and they were all just friends trying to do what they did, and it's a cool thing. So. So that's the album side of the week this week, and that was that was a Black Dog vinyl purchase. So I like that place, and if you get a chance to go down there, you should go down there. So for me, I was gonna do. I was trying to decide what I should do, and I have some new stuff, but it's just last week I played a new one, and I kind of stumbled through it, and I get frustrated because I'm trying to bring in these new songs, and I just feel like I'm not playing them well.
You have to sit with them for a little bit. I do that, but I think the best way to get them out, get them solid, and get comfortable with them, you got to play them.
You got to play them,
because playing them by yourself isn't the same.
No.
You can do it and you can rock it, playing it still, but when you actually have to perform it, that's a whole nother thing.
Well, I went back last week and watched, because to me, like in my head, as I was explaining it, I've said many times being on here, sometimes the things that go through your head while you're playing and performing a song that should be a movie all by itself, of the things that are going on in your head, but then you're up there actually singing and playing, and
Yes.
if the audience had any idea what was happening in your head at that moment, sometimes there's way too many things.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it right, then nothing's, and you're invested in the song, which is the idea.
Mm-hmm.
But last week I was struggling, thinking this is going really bad. I might just want to stop, and I pushed through and got to the end. Then I went back and watched, which I don't always go back and watch the show anymore. I kind of just. When I first started, it was like, all right, I got to figure out what's the matter and make it better and do this and how can I make this better. And now at this point, most of the time, I just make sure that it went out and it worked and the sound got to people, and then otherwise I'm like most of the time. But last week I'm like, I gotta see if that was as terrible as I thought it was, and it turned out in hindsight it didn't seem near as bad as it was in my head.
More in your head. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. Still had some spots, but I was like, All right, but this week I decided to do this song, which is it's I've had it for I don't know 8-9 months, and this is the song that I wrote from a haiku from Jenny. So I thought this seemed like appropriate because I came and saw you at the Haiku Milieu, and you were fantastic, and that was a wonderful evening. But this is it's a song that makes me think of my mom mostly. It was merely a jumping off point. I think it went. The moon and her coworkers hold hands against the darkness. Nothing gets past them.
Mm-hmm.
And as I told the story on stage, I'm like, that sounds like something my mother would have said, which made me got thinking about my mom, and so then I ended up writing this song this way. So let me make sure I can.
Excellent.
So, all right, just in case. She said the moon and the stars hold hands against the darkness. The right kind of smile she softly began to explain. We can try and try, but we'll never get another one past them. 'Cause it never is what it is. It never really seems to be what it seems to be. My mother said to me, just be a man of your word. Try to give people the benefit of the doubt every once in a while. to me. God gave you one mouth and two ears, so you ought to listen much more than you speak. But you damn well better work twice as hard to help the moon and the stars all dance against the darkness. And with the right kind of smile, she softly began to explain. Now we can try and try, but we'll never get another one past them. 'Cause it never is what it is. It never really seems to be what it seems to be. We run around, we ain't yet seen the found. Life holds one simple truth, true to your heart and true to your soul. Heartache, emptiness are sure gonna find you. My mother said to me, never give up on yourself. Now there'll be a time when you've got to stand up and fight, when it's time to fight. Give it all you got. Know what you're fighting for, and you can fight harder than you ever thought. To help the moon and the stars all dance against the darkness. With the right kind of smile, she softly began to explain. We can try and try, but we'll never get another one past them. 'Cause it never is what it is, and it never really seems to be. The moon and the stars hold hands against the darkness. The right kind of smile, she softly began to explain. We can try and try, but we'll never get another one past them. 'Cause it never is what it is. It never really seems to be what it seems to be. I got somewhere in the middle of that, I went,
Beautiful song.
I haven't been turning pages, and if I can't remember the line in the third verse, which I always forget, I'm going to have to go, and you'll hear it on the microphone. You would have heard, which because it's so,
Yes.
I'm just going to have to see if I remember.
And you did.
I did,
Yes.
which scares me sometimes.
No. You
Because
did.
I call this my blankie. Because if I don't have it, my brain will go blank. Like I'm like, but if it's there, I don't even look at it half the time, most of the time. But
You have your own teleprompter, which is pretty great there.
it's mostly because I can't, what I describe as the hard drive's full. So like new words from a long time ago I can remember pretty well.
Yes, the long-term memory.
The new ones don't stick really anymore. And
Yeah.
so when I started learning new things like 2 years ago, I was really struggling, and then I didn't want to have, like, I don't like having an iPad like right up. So I was trying to put it down low, and then I couldn't see, and then I tried all these different things. At first I actually started with I had this, and then I had it on I had all the words on a PowerPoint thing with slides, and I would turn pages literally because like I gotta do something. Yeah, it's for sure because I couldn't remember anything.
That's so involved.
but I had to when I was doing 3 hours when I first started playing again because I could just like we learned new covers that I was like I can't remember which verse is which, and I can't, and I'd rather get them right. I'd rather get them right than mess them up.
Absolutely.
And I think it's more important to get them right. And so it was decision. I was like, I'll just go. So I took a small TV and figured out how to. Now I can do it on it. I can do it on an iPad, and it'll stick on a stand most of the time. But here at home,
It's pretty awesome. But you got to time it right, to not mess up your rhythm.
It has a method where it'll automatically scroll.
I was going to ask that.
There's a setting, but then the scroll most of the time doesn't scroll at the right speed. And those big bands, there's a person, it's their job to actually scroll it at the time and make sure that it's always in wherever they are in the song.
Yeah.
Because they can't remember the words either. They just have somebody else that does it for them. So I think that's not a bad thing. I don't mind having it. So so that brings us to, let's see, you covered your what's your favorite color?
What's my favorite color? I just asked my program members this. I keep saying purple.
Yeah.
But I don't wear too much purple.
No.
I do like it.
It can still be your favorite.
It's still my favorite, but a lot of my colors that I choose to are very natural. I like grays, I like creams, I like whites. I like browns. Those are
earth tones?
Yeah, all my earth tones. But as far as I guess the spirit color or whatever, I love deep purples.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on.
One
I
of
think,
my partners had.
and that question comes from Buddy the Elf, which is Buddy the Elf. What's your favorite color when he reaches over, pick up the phone? Yeah.
Wait, from the movie? Oh,
Yeah.
Oh yes, with Will Ferrell.
One of my favorite scenes in the movie when he's at the paper with James Caan as his father at the book thing or whatever, and he's trying to act all grown up. And the phone rings, and he jumps over the desk, and he picks up the phone, and he says, "Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color?"
I
Just one of
haven't
these
seen
small
that
moments.
movie in its entirety. Oh, I know. I'm sorry. We have the Elf book.
Elf is a great movie.
Family movie night? Is that what this
Drop the
is?
projector screen. We're doing it now.
Nice.
One of my wife's favorite moments. I went as Buddy the Elf for Halloween. It was 10 years ago. We found the thing popped up on Facebook. It was
Excellent.
Jack was 6. That would have made him 5 or 6. 5. He was a Angry Bird that year because of the picture. And
Which one?
I don't know. I can't see my wife's face because whatever.
Okay. I've only seen it once.
The fact that you remember, but it's anyways. Like he was an Angry Bird, and I saw the picture, and there I am dressed in the yellow tights and
That's very bold. Yes.
But so much so that then she convinced me to go to the police department and hand out gifts to kids with Santa Claus.
Okay.
So then I made everyone laugh by just acting like a complete knucklehead when the Santa came up. Santa.
That's excellent.
Right.
And you weren't arrested, which is great.
No, it was not. I'm sorry.
I love you.
I love you too, young lady. I love the fact that I always see her very patiently waiting when you have to work, and I see you. And she's a very patient young woman. So
She is. She is. This is a lifetime of coming with Mom to the shows.
well,
Yeah.
it's and you can bet that she will speak of it fondly for the rest of her life.
I hope so.
I'm sure. There's no doubt in my mind. Not one doubt at all. Let's see. Do you have anything coming up important that?
I do. I have some shows coming up, one of which is tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm playing at Gallery Cabaret. I love that place. I
Yeah.
haven't played there in a long time. I used to live in the city and played there quite often with their open mics and such
Yeah.
like that. But then I moved out this way. Chicago doesn't really have a open door policy for the youngins like we do out in the burbs, which is fine. So I don't play out in the city too often. But I ran into Garrett not too long ago and found out that he's doing the booking there. So sent him my information, even though we go way back, and sent him some dates. And he reached out to me that he had some November's open. I was like, yes, let's do it. So I'm playing there tomorrow at 9:00. Opening set. I love opening sets because I want to chillax for the rest of the evening.
Right.
I don't really want to wait till 11 and have one too many bourbons.
Does that happen to you very often?
Yes. Yeah. Not since college.
Right on.
And then it was tequila.
Yeah, well, you know, we've all been there. Yeah. I think I went down and saw Blue play there and it was the first time I was here, and I'm like, oh, this is, but it was one of those places where I'm like, I might have been here 1,000 years ago. Like that was one of the same kind of places. Like, how did I miss this? I must have been here at some point, but awesome room. And then I've gone back for the open mic not too long ago. I went back once and I was like way too late and there were too many people in it.
Yeah.
And, but I went a couple weeks ago, and somebody said, well, tell him you've never played before and he'll make room for you.
This is true.
And I said, well, somebody told me to tell you I never played here before. He's like, oh, and he was sort of like, okay. And I see, like, take the list and rearrange it, right? All right, fine. And then and he's so like Garrett, right? That's
Garrett.
His personality is so interesting because he's sort of like curmudgeon-y, but you can tell he's really just.
He's a sweetheart.
Right, yeah, you can tell. It's all just on the surface. He's just, and for all the things he has to deal with in the open mic stuff, that in that place especially, he's got no patience for any of it at times, which is.
He's just very like on point
Yeah.
with everything and always has been. But from my years of knowing him, one of the sweetest people ever.
I can believe that for sure.
And he's definitely like the heart of that place for many years and now still, since the original owner passed. But yeah, it's a great place.
No, anything else this weekend, next weekend?
Not. I think that's my last thing for this month, unless someone throws something else at me, which actually happens quite often. That it's like, oh, Cheryl, you want to play this show coming up? And I was like, yeah, I'll do that.
You're the mayor.
I was like, sure, we'll do it.
Right.
And then December 23rd, I'm playing at Friendly.
Oh.
With Joe Fournier. We're going to do a duet show. It's December 23rd, so it might be holiday themed.
That's all
We'll
right.
see.
That's about the time when it's all right.
Yeah, it is. But he's gonna probably bring out baritone sax and piano for that. It's gonna be a very jazzy set. I'm really excited for that.
Right on.
And that's it for right now. Yeah, working on some ideas for the next couple albums that I have been on the back burner for a while, and then I just had this new kind of like birth of an idea that I'm not going to talk about yet.
Now do you demo that stuff like at home and then send us the stuff, or do you let it sort of grow organically with a group of people and kind of give them a rough idea of what you're looking for?
For this, I give them, for the most part, bare tracks. If it's something that's they haven't played on before, I like to give them just me playing guitar on it and vocals, and I like for them to create on top of it.
See what their imagination comes.
I don't really like to tell people what to play on things. There's very few times where I'll do that. But generally the people that I pull in to play on my projects, I've heard them before, and I know what their styles are, and I was like, I'm going to try this out on you. Let's go and see what happens. So I'm pretty excited for what's coming up with those things.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, do you have another song you want to play for the folks?
I do, actually. I was on the fence about whether or not I was going to play this one today because with all the heaters and things coming on, my voice is a little suspect and it gets dry very easy. Not just in here. I'm talking about at home. It's actually not.
It's a
dry
cruddy
in
time of year trying to explain to somebody how to take care of your voice and that it can be it can get messed up pretty easy.
Yeah, I've been drinking tea and the humidifier, and then it'll be fine. And then all of a sudden, it's
I've
just
been
like,
struggling the last couple weeks. Like, I don't know if there'll be times where it's like, I can't do 3 hours. I know that. I could do a couple songs, but I know that I couldn't play all day if I had to. That's for sure.
Yeah, there are some songs I was like, range-wise, I'm like, do I really want to chance it? Not right now. Yeah. So this one here is a new one, and it's called Marigolds. I wrote it, I think towards the end of last year, and it was around the time where we had the influx of the immigrant population that was coming in, and saw a multitude of families, a lot of women with their kids in my neighborhood, selling a variety of things, and they would have their kiddos on their backs, and if I had anything or there was food or money, I would give it to them. But it was just interesting to know what their story was going to be like a month or a year from now, what their child's story is going to be like a month or a year from now. And my heart just really went out to them as a mom who's, struggled with her kiddo since day one, just with medical things, and they have a whole nother faucet of complications in their life. So I wrote this song based off of just my observations and my own feelings about these mothers that I saw.
Awesome.
So that's that. I can hold what you hold. I have felt the strong hands that terror in the night. Make me a wishing well. Hard rocks and skipping stones. Someday I'll laugh at all the tragedy. She sells marigolds under traffic lights, $1 for these sweets, this mouth to feed and all her promised soul under traffic lights. These wilted leaves are broken dreams. I'm here again, I've lost everything. These shoulders carry a child of 3. Will she know this journey? Will she remember me? Will she someday laugh at all this tragedy? She sells marigolds under traffic lights, $1 for these sweets, this mouth to feed and all her promised soul under traffic lights. These wilted leaves are broken dreams. She sells marigolds under traffic lights, $1 for these sweets, this mouth to feed and all her promised soul under traffic lights. These wilted leaves are broken dreams. I can hold what you hold. I felt the strong hands that terror in the night.
Hauntingly beautiful.
Thank you.
The words, great imagery.
Thank you.
Like I could see it in my head what you were saying, and it was awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that.
Did you now? Is that one? Sometimes we fight to get a song out, and sometimes they just come right out.
Nope. Well, the words came out pretty easily. But singing that song was actually really difficult. One, because it's very emotional to sing, and two, because it's, for me, a very delicate song. It's very fragile, and I had to kind of like
find the breathiness, and
find the breath, find how I wanted to get those higher parts, and then I was like, well, maybe I'll do something different, and I tried some other things out because I'm a natural tenor, so going up high isn't always the easiest thing for me. So I had to work with that one, and still I feel like a work in progress with me.
I think you're pretty close.
Thank you.
Just so you know.
Oh, thanks.
That was, that was brilliant. It was like the vocal part was so haunting, and to be able to hear it with that, as close as I'm able to hear it, in the headphones, and it was just beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate that, because you get how you sound in your head is not how you sound to other people, and it's like you hear yourself all the time. So when you're talking about like listening to yourself or watching yourself back, I typically am like, whatever.
Right.
But you learn from it. You gotta watch yourself. You gotta like listen to yourself, because there's always little nuggets that you can either like
the good and the bad.
The good and the bad. Like, yeah, I'll do that again. One thing that I have to, when watching myself perform, I have to worry about, like, is my head doing like a bobblehead thing? Because I have a tendency
what
to
are
do
your
this.
mannerisms your unconscious mannerisms
Yeah.
because we all have them. You're just doing your thing, but then you look back and go, I don't really want to do that. I didn't even know I did that.
Yes, and I try to stop myself, and I think, oh, I'm not doing it. And then I watch it, and I was like, nope.
I was.
It's still there. But, yeah.
I think it's all right. Like, if you're losing yourself in what you're doing, that's the most important. Like you're... I'm laughing because yes, absolutely.
I get it. It's one of those things, but yeah, I have to. But for that song, I'm just gonna have to kind of deliver it as I feel it, and I like it, where it is.
Like I said, I think you're doing all right with it.
Thank you.
It seems pretty good to me.
Thank you, appreciate it.
You're welcome.
It'll be on the new album. I will say that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I look forward to that. So the big question that I usually ask everyone, and you touched on a couple of things. When I started doing this, the Songwriters Lounge sort of happened on accident, and it started with me just playing songs by myself, and then a while back I had somebody in and started talking about songwriting, and turned into this thing. And the thing that I've personally struggled with over the last couple of years is having no confidence in anything that I was doing on my own, that there was anything of value, that what is the point of me doing this? Just as I've described in opening of a song that I wrote based on this crushing self-doubt, this kind of thing that prevented me at some point from just continuing on. After all these years, it was like, I think I'm just done, and this was a few years ago. But everyone has these doubts, these nuggets of things like, that isn't any good. And then somebody will also come up to you and say, and some of the most talented people I've had here, I was just shocked to find out that they're also carrying that thing. And so that's one of the messages I try to move forward to anyone. Like I said, if somebody stumbles across this in the future and they're just looking up songwriting or trying to find anything, or some random person that neither one of us knows, and they find this video 3 years from now or something, and it's that we all doubt what we're doing. we all have these moments of like, I'm not sure if I should try this or do that, but then eventually, if you do just what you think and put it out there and are brave enough to try, it's usually better than you're your own worst critic.
Yes, absolutely.
And so I think that oftentimes you can get wrapped up in that so easily, and I just try to encourage people to just do it anyways.
I love that you have this space for that, because I feel that.
Well, you teach.
I teach, and I love my students, and that is, for me, way more important than me performing on stage. I love performing on stage because I love connecting with other people, but ultimately, I love collaborating and making music with people. That's the
So
big
you're
thing
getting
for
right
me.
into the question is the last
yeah.
question is the why. What
Yeah.
what is your why? Why do you do this?
Yeah, because I remember maybe last year or the year before, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and I was like, I don't know if I should keep doing this, because I was wondering, like, or hearing and seeing, like, what music was popular, and I was reflecting on, like, my 20s, when I actually had the drive for music. Bev's answering me with the raspberry. But seriously, it's like, no, you do it, with whatever things of self-doubt that you have. And I flipped it for me, so I write for me, and I play for me and the people that are listening, and I'd enjoy it. I play for my students so that they can see you can do this too. This is your next level. And I ask them, well, why are you learning this instrument? What do you want to do with it? Are you learning because you want to be in a band? Are you learning just because you want to learn something new? All answers are great, but make it your reason, and then put forth the effort.
Have an understanding what you're aiming for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's kind of my why. Me playing and especially creating songs like Marigolds, that's like therapy for me. And I love that I have the space to be able to continue that. I love that I have the life that I'm still able to make music, even as a mom.
Doesn't come without sacrifice.
It doesn't.
And
But yeah,
it's way harder than people think to I chose to do some things early on, but more recently I've been lucky enough to be able to focus on this for the first time in my life full time. And it is so much harder to make this happen than even I thought, even with the amount of time that I have. And I didn't think it was easy by any stretch of the imagination. And it's a hard thing, but it's also rewarding. Like I was thinking while you were describing being a teacher, I saw you the one night, and you did the circle, but it was the whole family. It was the mom and the dad and the two girls. And
with
what was the family?
Jody and Tessie
and one of them was
Jane.
your student, right?
Yes, Jane.
And
yes.
because you could see the sort of they were like asking you to play, and you're like, nah, I'd rather you play. Like you had this like glow about watching your student move to this level and excel, and it was really neat. It was I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that evening quite a lot, because the different levels. The one young lady was a tremendous guitar player, and then the mom said that her other daughter wouldn't play outside play out very often, and that was like a rare thing, and she was tremendous. And then the dad, it was a great story. It was wonderful. It was really entertaining, and all the songs were great, and the whole evening was great, and you just seemed to be beaming with pride.
I was, and I do. I say this with all the love, my little minions of music. But that's one thing with me as a teacher, and I was like, I want to teach you enough that if you decided to step away and like go pursue whatever instrument or musical avenue you choose, that I've given you a foundation enough that you're able to go and do that. And with Jane, they're very fortunate to be in a circle that they have a mother who's a vocalist, father, guitarist, and then here I am with violin. I'm just adding to the pot. Tessie, same way. And they've blossomed with music over the years. So when I watch them play, I'm like, I help to contribute to this. And so I have to get a little verklempt,
Right.
Watching them.
And totally understandable. It was quite a it was, I shouldn't say surprising, but sometimes I feel like such an old man because sometimes I look at young people and I think, how can they do that already? Like, how can they do that already? And those they were sort of like that. They were like writing great songs, and the one that was playing the electric guitar was just skilled and talented, and not just hammering out chords or playing some, like, the ability to play the instrument in various ways and support. It was great. It was just really enjoyable. So I enjoy that stuff a lot.
My students just had a recital not too long ago, and one of which was struggling with Blackbird, and he nailed it. And I was just so proud of him. Right. It was great. I'm proud of all my students, but that was a struggle for him.
And then to be able to overcome it, that's great. Yeah. And even still, even if you're facing something and it may not go the way you wanted it to, there's far less people who are brave enough to even try. Yeah. And so you have to, encourage and remind people that if you're even up there trying, you've kind of beat the odds in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
So that's a cool thing. You gave your we're at the end of the show. And we really are. And remember how I said how fast the time goes? Yeah. Look at how much time passed. Time goes really fast, doesn't it? So coming up for me, let's see. Tuesday, I am playing at Bourbon and Brass as the bass player and Kenny P. Mitchell in The Last Chance, and that is a battle of the bands.
Oh my goodness!
Because music is a competition.
Will you take the prize?
I don't think so. Because usually it has everything to do with how many friends you can get there, and oftentimes that doesn't equate with me. And then next week is Dave and Diane, an interesting story where two people met at an open mic, and one was a guitar player who was tired of playing covers, and the other wrote poems, and they were like, you got your chocolate in my peanut butter, and you got your peanut butter in my chocolate, and they collaborated, and then they started writing songs, and I thought it was a great story. So they're next week, and then is that Friday, right? We're at the 4 Point Saloon. Me and Blue and the aforementioned Kenny P. Mitchell each one of us is doing a set, so that'll be fun. And you can always go to melmusic.com, melmuzic.com. That's everything. Thanks to, dumb joke of the day. Dumb joke of the day. How could I forget the dumb joke of the day? Also,
I'm bad with jokes. Am I going to be the one to have to?
No, don't worry. No, normally we have to do a goat check for the dumb joke of the day. So that's Fred, the screaming goat.
Bed's eyes
Kenny
up like that.
Kenny P. Mitchell saw this and said, well, I have to, he got me a Halloween screaming goat, which you can't see from over there, but this one then does this.
That does sound great in the headphones.
So I have more than one goat. So that brings us to the dumb joke of the day, brought to us by Blue.
Mail's here.
Blue from Richard Less. From Richard Less. Mm-hmm. You're very. he's over there giggling. All right, from Richard Less, and the joke is today. Now this I used to. I've said many times, I used to put them in there myself and then read them, try to act like. Now it's more fun because he puts them in there. I don't know what the joke is. So, why was music coming from the printer? You're supposed to. You have your part.
Why?
All right. The paper was jamming.
And when you get the pun, it seems it's like it could be any other thing. And oh, that was good.
He had one that made our guest laugh so hard. It was about to. I don't know. It was a total musician joke. It was the
I
E.
don't remember which one
It was E flat and something, and it was a chord, and the two of them
Mhm.
go into a liquor store, and he says no minors, and so the one left, and then they had a fifth between them. And so it's like I'm telling it poorly, but it was written. It was really funny.
I'm already in. Just for that.
Right. You can insert any minor chord you like, and then
Yes.
take out the note that makes it a minor, and then. Anyways, okay, so that's the dumb joke of the day.
Excellent.
So, all right, thank you guys. Thanks to Gene Price for all the work on socials, and Blue and Josette. Thank you guys very much for all the work you do. It's really wonderful. Thank you for being here, Cheryl.
Thank you, Mike, for having me. I appreciate it.
It's
Thank you.
it's delightful. Like I said, it's sometimes we're sitting here talking and you don't realize how much time has passed, and that's usually a great sign. So
Yes.
you're wonderful to talk to, and you're quite an inspirational singer, songwriter, human. So thank you for allowing me the opportunity to show that to these folks.
I appreciate you. And
So-
I'm glad you didn't stop writing. 'Cause quite a few good songs.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much. I'm glad I didn't as well, because I would have never met all these wonderful people that I met in the
Absolutely.
last year. So it's been great. So, all right. So thanks, everyone. And we will see you next week. So have a good one.